All right, hello everyone. Peace of Christ to all. We just started our podcast for today. I would like to announce that soon I'm going to have a professional, official channel for YouTube. So will be in the side, just to let you know. However, I'm going to announce it to you when it's ready. All right, so all of you guys, you can subscribe in that channel. So what is the topic today? Today we have a topic which is something we hear always, especially from Muslims, which is the Quran is the book which preserved. So we will be speaking about this thing as a main topic for now. You know, like the Muslims, they keep coming with this thing, keep saying that the Quran is preserved, Quran is preserved. And, you know, I believe that the reasons the Muslims, they keep talking about it, because they know there is something missing there. Otherwise, there is no need really for trying to prove it that hard. If you listen to the, one of the Muslims, he posts in my YouTube, in the page, regarding this verse, which we spoke about in one of our chat with Muslims in our chat room. Chapter 75, verse number 17. Now, chapter 75, 17, you can read any translation you want. Allah saying, supposedly, that it is on us to collect it and to say it, or to read it. Now, that caused a problem. Why? Because all of us, we know that the one who collected the Quran, it was not Allah, it was the Muslims. So a Muslim guy, he posts in YouTube saying, well, you know what? Yes, it says that it is on us to collect it. It is on us to have it gathered together. However, Allah is not saying that He is the one who will collect it. He is saying He will collect it from the chest of Muhammad. Now, you know, for me, this is really funny, because if the Quran is collected in the chest of Muhammad, or let us say if it is in the chest of Muhammad, and then Allah, He says, I'm going to collect the Quran from his chest, we need to think about it. So we have a God, who his name supposedly Allah, saying, it is on us to collect the Quran, as we showed you in the translation. Let me make the text bigger, so you guys can see it better. Oops. Let's go back here. All right. So if we read any translation, you choose any one you want. As I said, all translation of Muslims is the same. It is nothing but, like try to protect the Quran. So you will not find really one honest translation. However, still we use it because we want to show the Muslims from their own translation how we can expose this book. This book is a foolish book. So when Allah, He says in the Quran, supposedly, it is for us to collect it and to give you, O Muhammad, the ability to recite the Quran. What does that mean? Obviously, the one who is making a promise here is Allah, saying, I'm going to collect the Quran. It's not your job. Your job is to recite it. Actually, it doesn't even say is that Muhammad will recite it. It says Allah Himself, He will recite it. It is on us to collect the Quran, and it is on us to recite the Quran. Let us change the translation, just to show you how translation change and the meaning change. All right. Surely on us devolves the collection of it and the reciting of it. What does that mean? Allah is saying, I'm going, you know what? It is on us to collect the Quran. Clear. However, if we go to the interpretation of the Quran, we will find the following. And actually, I'm using the interpretation which is posted in the YouTube page by a Muslim. This is Ibn Kathir. I'm going to make the screen more clear. All right. Actually, this is the correct translation here. Or let's say the most close. It says it is for, or not for us actually, it is on us to collect it and to be recited it. It is on us to collect it and recite it. Excuse me. Sound weird. Because we never heard Allah reciting the Quran. Not even once. Not even Muhammad he heard Allah reciting the Quran once. So let us switch the page and see what this is mean according to the interpretation of Ibn Kathir. This is Allah teaching his messenger how to receive the revelation from the angel. How to receive it. Does that need education? The angel come to him and he told him, say that. Teach, this is for Allah to teach the Prophet how to receive revelation. Like Muhammad, he was doing like office booking, accounting. Like, what is that? What the delivery and the receiving and etc. Is he like a person who's holding a warehouse and he have to count the goods? He come to him supposedly and says to him this verse, and he carry the verse on to the Muslims. So what it's mean? What do you mean by saying Allah is teaching Muhammad how to recite, how to receive? Very stupid explanation. Was rushing in his attempt to grasp the revelation. You see the word revelation when the Muslims speak about it. This is very wrong word, because how Muhammad received the revelation? He did not receive any revelation. Another way, the Quran in different verse, it says وَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى. It is an inspiration. So the revelation is an inspiration, but Muhammad never been inspired. Muhammad never been inspired. Even it says here in front of us that it is the angel who, he received the revelation from the angel. So when the Quran says that what Muhammad received is inspiration, is a wahi, is a fabrication, it's a stupid word, it's not there. Same time, if we go read more, it says here, so the first praise says, was gathering it in his chest. So Allah is gathering the Quran in his chest. Allah is gathering the Quran in his chest. Well, it says on us collecting it, and gathering it is the opposite. In his chest, gathering in his chest. You see, when I say I'm collecting the Quran, it's mean the Quran is spread all over, and I'm collecting it. If it is in the chest, it's not all over. Secondly, isn't it funny to say I'm going to collect the Quran from your chest? I thought the Quran is coming from you. Isn't it the Quran supposedly is coming from Allah? So what do you mean you are going to gather the Quran in the chest of Muhammad? That for sure doesn't make sense. It's a very stupid statement. Especially the Quran says that you know, the Quran is preserved in you know, in a board, and the board is exist in the heaven. So what do you mean you are going to collect it? You have it already. You have it in the heaven before you send it to Muhammad. You wrote it in a big tablet, and this tablet is guarded by between the eyes of an angel. His name is Israfil, and you know, it's there already. What do you mean you are going to collect it if you have it? So let us think about this. Allah will collect the Quran. He will gather it in the chest of Muhammad, and he will recite it. The interpretation saying the following: Allah will gather the Quran in the chest of Muhammad and will teach him how to receive it. That's very funny, because this is not what the verse saying. The verse saying it was on us to collect it and to read it. It is my duty. Now let us go with the explanation of the Muslims. If you go a few verses more, this is the verse we are talking about, by the way. Inna alayna jam'uhu wa qur'anahu. It is for us to collect it, meaning in your chest. Okay, we'll let it go, which is false. Meaning that you recite it, but it says, okay, wa qur'anahu. Then it says something very important, will destroy all this argument. And it is on us to explain it. ثم إن علينا بيانه. ثم, you see, this is the sentence here. إن علينا بيانه. So it is on us to explain it to you. So obviously, you see the deception of the Muslims here. How come here they took it inna alayna, the same as the word there, to make it, it's on us to make it clear, but there it says, oh, we are gathering it in your chest. It's the same thing. Inna alayna, it is on us, it's on us. So why do you change the translation? Because it is a disaster. What the Muslim was saying, Allah, he said he will collect the Quran, and later he did not collect it. So they have to come with an explanation to make it look nicer. But here we have a problem. Then it is for us to make it clear. So Allah, he made promise to make the Quran clear. Is the Quran clear? As a meaning, as you see it. Is the Quran clear after this promise? Find me one verse the Muslims agree about the meaning of it. Every verse in the Quran have thousands and thousands of books of interpretations, and each one of them he come with his own interpretation, because Muhammad, he never give any interpretation. Mostly, like we can say maybe 97% of the Quran, Muhammad never explained any verses of them. So when Allah, he says it is on us to make the Quran clear, that is a disaster, because Allah did not make the Quran clear. So now let us go and let us make a little study over the issue of the Quran being preserved. The Quran being preserved. You know, for me, I don't really care to prove the Quran to be preserved or not, and I have my own logic for this, because the Quran anyway is the book of the devil. So if it's preserved or not will not make any difference. Like, are you going to prove the corrupt to be corrupted twice or 3 times or 4 times? It's a corrupt book anyway. So corrupting the corrupt will not prove anything really. However, just to show the Muslims how we can prove easy that the Quran is a stupid book and the maker of the Quran is really an idiot. I'm not insulting, but this is the truth. This is the hadith from Aisha, and I want the Muslims to listen carefully. You say that the Quran was preserved, the Quran protected. Allah, He gathered the Quran in the chest of Muhammad, as you claim. And okay, what is next? What is the benefit of Allah gathering the Quran in the chest of Muhammad? Muhammad, the chest is dead. There's no chest no more. There's no Muhammad no more. He is dead. How we can get the Quran back? The Muslim will say to you many stories. Some they will say to you that the Prophet, he used to collect the Quran. Some they say to you the companions, they have the Quran. Some they say to you the Quran is preserved in the hearts of the Muslims. There is tons of stories. However, this story in front of us proves that all of this is false. Narrated by Aisha. The one who's talking here is a very, very valid person, especially for the Muslim Sunnah, which is the majority of Muslims in the world. The verse of stoning and the breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed. So here we go. Take a note, please. This is a verse. This is not a hadith. What is the verse? Stoning. And what is the other verses? Breastfeeding for adult. Now, 10 times, because there's two verses or two stories about those verses. One is speaking about 10 breastfeeding for adult, and one is speaking about 5. Supposedly, Allah, He gave first 10 breastfeeding for adult, which is very funny. A woman, she came to Muhammad, and she said to him, there's a man, he have a sexual desire for me, and looked like he is one of her slaves. So Muhammad told her, give him your breast, let him suck it in different time. And this is supposedly a Quran, as you see. You see, I'm not the one who's saying it's a verse, it is Aisha. So the breastfeeding for adult, it was exist in the Quran. And the stoning to death was exist in the Quran. And there's a verses of 5 breastfeeding for adult, 5 times breastfeeding for adult, it's in the Quran supposedly. But we cannot find any of them, all of them. Look what Aisha is saying. The verse of stoning and the breastfeeding for an adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper, actually there's no paper. At that time they didn't use really papers, they used leather. Was with me under my pillow. And when the messenger of Allah died, she was busy in his death, you know, and a sheep came in and ate it. Actually, it doesn't say a sheep, it says dajan. Dajan in Arabic mean, you see, this is why I don't like Muslim translation. It's nothing but a fabrication. Dajan is anything you grow in your home. It can be a sheep, it can be a goat, it can be a camel, it can be even you know, a chicken. All right, so this is what dajan means. Any animal you grow in your home is a dajan, which means it's not a wild animal. And most likely I believe it's not a sheep as they translate, it's a goat, because it's very well known that goat eat anything, papers, plastic, leather, anything they can put it in their mouth, they swallow it. And many of those goats, actually, they die in this process because they are not so intelligent in what they eat. They eat anything they can grab. They have a very strong stomach, but what happens sometimes when they eat those things, they might stuck in their throat and they die. So anyway, here we have an approval hadith, and it says here Hasan, which means it's approved by Muslims as a Hasan mean good, all right, or fine. This is a hadith which is a Hasan, so Muslim cannot play with us the game of weak and strong, etc. And you see here, actually, there's a comment about this from Aisha. There is a verses were abrogated in recitation, but not in ruling. These are verses abrogated by recitation, but not ruling. Other hadith establish the number of fosterage by 5. All right. You know, when the Muslims speak about those numbers abrogated by recitation, but not by ruling, don't you see that this is very stupid? Seriously. If the verses is required to follow, what do you mean it's abrogated by recitation, but not by ruling? Why you don't want the recitation to be there, especially you are following it? Like, don't you want to know what you are following? The Muslims are confusing about a verse is written already in front of them, and they have thousands of interpretation for it. So how much is going to be more confused if we don't have it as recitation, which means we don't have the verse no more? How you can follow a verse you don't have it? Have you ever heard of someone says to you, I make a law, I'm going to make a law for you, but I'm not going to put it in the book, but you follow it? What for then? Why the other book? Why the other law is in the book? And actually, even the Quran have law which is abrogated, not to follow no more, but they are in the Quran. So it's a madness to say there is a law we need to follow, but we don't want to put it in the Quran. And actually, the proof of this lie is in the front of you. They are saying that the goat ate it. So the goat is the one who made the abrogation. The goat is the one who ate it. It's not Allah who said, don't put it in the Quran. And you know what? I challenge any Muslim to show me one statement from Muhammad or from anyone saying the Prophet or Allah told Muhammad not to put those verses in the Quran. That's a very funny, stupid argument. And there's no such a thing. It's a fabrication. So the Muslims, they come with this idea saying there's many verses abrogated by recitation but not ruling, which means there's many things in the in Islam Muslims have to follow, but we cannot find it in the Quran. And that is to cover the issue of Quran being destroyed. There's many things that are not there. Like there's a hadith, it says that the Al-Baqarah, the chapter of Al-Baqarah used to be equal to the chapter of Al-Ahzab. The chapter of Al-Baqarah used to be equal to Al-Ahzab. So that means there's almost 100 verses equal to 100 verses are missing. So how this is happening? From one chapter alone in the Quran, one chapter, we have 100 verses are missing. If we go to let us see if we can find you the reference here. We search, I will show you just how to search even in English, all right? Used to be equal to Al-Ahzab. All right? Let us see. Oh, in the top it says Al-Bazzar. I don't know what is that. Hold on. This is islaminfo.com, and this is alislam.org, and this is alislam.org too. There's many. Those are Islamic websites. All right, those are Islamic websites. So I'm not going to open a Christian website to make a statement here. I'm going to show you from Islamic website what they say. I will take the first one first. It was narrated by Abdullah, son of etc., 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 via blah 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 blah, via number etc., that it said to me, how long is Surah Al-Ahzab when you read it, or how many verses do you think it is? I said to him 73 verses. He said only there was a time when it was long as Surah Al-Baqarah, and we read it. You see it? Let me make the page more. Do you see it, guys? It used to be what? It used to be equal to the chapter of Al-Baqarah. That's a huge loss. That is a scary loss. You know, if you go to Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 in the Quran, here we go, and then you check the numbers of Al-Baqarah, you will find how huge it is. 200 what? I forgot. I think 280 something. 86. I was right. Here we go. You see it? 286 verses. So actually, this is I made a mistake here. This will be, if he is saying the Ahzab is 73 verses and Al-Baqarah is 286, that's more than 200, almost 210 verses are missing. This is just from one chapter in the Quran. We are not talking about the rest yet. Actually, that will make it 213 verses missing. Sorry. 213 verses missing. Just from one place. But yet, they say to us that the Quran is preserved. The Quran is preserved. How this is happening? And they mention here some of the verses which is missing in the Quran, and we read it as an example. The old man and the old women, if they commit zina, which means they commit adultery. It's funny when Muslims they translate something, like they translate everything except the word zina. How if somebody do not know what zina means will know what zina is? Anyway, welcome to the Muslim warehouse. The old man and the old woman, if they commit zina, then stone them both, a punishment from Allah. Hold on, is that the verse? Is that the verse? So are you sure this is the verse? Absolutely, they are not sure. And they say, actually, this is why it's not in the Quran. And you will see here that all the scholars are confirming this story above. And you see here all the reference. It's not like one reference or two. There is something what the Muslims they call tawatur, which means repeated by many trusted people. So the story of Al-Ahzab used to be equal to the chapter of Al-Baqarah is true. So if 213 verses is missing in one, chapter in the Quran. What happened to the rest of the chapters then? Very, very funny argument Muslims they come with always. So, you know, I made this video actually because a Muslim, he was saying that our Quran is preserved and you Christians are stupid, you do not know what you are talking about, etc. All right. Now, as I said, really, I'm not really interested to prove the Quran to be not preserved. Don't take me wrong. I don't really care if the Quran is preserved. Actually, I wish the Quran was preserved. Seriously. I want to see the verse of breastfeeding for adults still there. That's alone is a joke. When somebody says to us that the Prophet of Allah is ordering men and women to do breastfeeding for adults, that is really a disgusting thing, it's a stupid thing, and we need to think about it carefully. So I wish we have it still in the Quran, but yet we have it in the Hadith. You see, it's appeared only once actually. This is funny because it should appear many times. Let us type it in Arabic. That will solve the problem, I guess. Actually, this website, the Muslim translation, Sunnah.com, is one of the most funny translation ever. So let us see. Here we go. Oh, nothing is coming in Arabic. I wonder why. Not sure, because before I try it, it worked. They took it off. I'm not sure what's the problem. Let us try something else. Into Suhail. All right. This is a story of a woman. Her name is Sahla bint Suhail. I will take the first hadith without choosing. And as you see, this is a Sahih hadith. So the Muslim cannot say to us, this is a weak one. Sahla bint Suhail came to the Messenger of Allah and said to him, I see displeasure. Actually, the word displeasure is not really accurate. It's like this guy, he have a sexual, look at me. Which means I don't like the way he look at me, which means he want to have sex with me. In the face of Abu Hudayfa, when Salim enter upon me. So, like her husband supposedly is jealous from the guy who look at her in a wrong way. All right. So look what the Prophet he said to her. The Messenger of Allah said to her, breastfeed him. She said, how I can breastfeed him when he is a grown man? Now, guys, imagine this situation. Close your eyes and think about it. Close your eyes. Women, you are the consultant of the community. You are the mayor. I'm not going to say you are a prophet now. Just hold your horses. You are the mayor of the community, and the woman, she came to me complaining that somebody is looking at her in a dirty way. She's afraid he might even rape her. And then you come with the amazing solution. You say to her, give him your breast, let him suck it. And I showed you that the hadith, it says he have to suck it 10 different times until he's satisfied. She said, how I'm going to do that? He is a grown man. Look what Muhammad said. Muhammad, he confirmed that he know that he is a grown man. He said, don't I know that he is a grown man? Muhammad, he know it's a grown man. He know he's a grown man, and he is asking the woman to give her a breast for a grown man in order to prevent him from having a sexual desire for her. I never heard of such a solution like this. But I know that men, they will get excited if a woman, she give them their breast to suck, and in order to suck it, you have to hold it too, and you have to embrace the woman. You have to sit in her lap like a baby. Have you ever heard of such a solution? And you know, the Muslims, they say to us, we Muslims, we have a very strict code regarding our women. Yeah, you know what? In Islam, you cannot shake the hand of a Muslim woman, but you can shake her breast and you can suck them. That is a very strict code. So now this verse is about breastfeeding in the Quran is gone. And obviously, I believe they took it off because it's shameful. The one who's collecting the Quran, he don't like it. He said, come on, man, take it off. Otherwise, give me a reason why it's not there. They say the goat ate it. Now, let us think about the goat eating the verses. If the goat can eat the verse, and Allah cannot preserve the verse, and Allah never said in the Quran that those verses are abrogated, don't follow them no more. And actually, the Muslims, they have to practice them. They are. You see the hadith I showed you before, it says the 10 breastfeed for adult, it was abrogated by 5 breastfeeding for adult. So it was 10, became 5. We cannot find the abrogated one. We cannot find the one which abrogated the first one. It's gone. Obviously, the one who was collecting the Quran, he don't like the idea, so he took it off. Now, to go back to the story of preserving the Quran, which is very funny, because even Allah himself saying that the Quran is not preserved. And let us see how we can prove that. In chapter 2, verse 106, it says, ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها. Whatever verses we cause to be forgotten, or we abrogate or cause to be forgotten. Hold on, Muslims. You just told us that the Quran is preserved, right? This is the verse we are talking about, 106. So as long as the Quran is preserved, then how you want to explain to us that Allah saying none of our revelation do we abrogate or cause to be forgotten? Hold on. I'm going to let abrogate. I'm going to let it go. Allah abrogate. Oh, okay. Now, abrogation here is what? Abrogation by sending a new verse? It doesn't say. And it's proven that the Muslims, they have many verses in the Quran. They are, you know, not in the Quran, but still they practice, as an example, stoning to death. So when the God of Islam, he says, oh look, what about the muta? Muta, there's no abrogation for the muta in the Quran. The Shia, they still practice it. The Sunni, they don't say this. You know, the Sunni, they say the Prophet, he forbid us from doing it anymore. Well, Allah, he said you can. Chapter 4, verse 24. So the Shia, they follow it because they have a stronger proof that there's no abrogation. It's in the Quran, it still exists. Which means the Muslims, they abrogate their Quran by a hadith, which means the hadith is holy and it's equal to the Quran. Actually, it's stronger, because when you say to me that muta was abrogated by a hadith, and that mean you are giving the power for the hadith over the Quran, when the Quran never said the muta is abrogated, that means the hadith is more powerful than the Quran, and the hadith is the one we should follow. But yet the Muslim, they say to us the hadith is not going to be trusted. So it can be trusted when they want, it cannot be trusted when they want. It's depend in the mood. So this is about the abrogate. Now let us go to the second disaster in this verse. or cause to be forgotten. Hold on. The Muslim, they say to us, the Quran is a preserve. The Quran says the opposite. Allah says, I will cause you to forget Quran. The Muslim, they say to us, the Quran is preserved in the heart, in the chest of the believers. Allah says, I'm going to cause you to forget Quran. So which one of you is wrong? Which one of you is making up stories, Muslims? You or Allah? Because it cannot be both. If the Quran is preserved, then Allah should not make you forget the Quran. When you say to me the Quran is forgotten, obviously you are saying to me that, you know what, the Quran is forgotten. Allah saying there is verses in the Quran, they are gone. We cannot find them. And this is coming from the mouth of Allah himself. The Quran will be caused to be forgotten. Same time, the funny about this verse in the Quran, it doesn't say Allah will cause which verses to be forgotten, which will make more Muslims go confused, because how the Muslims will know what is going to be forgotten? Saying that Allah will cause you to forget Quran, that made the Muslims like be lazy to preserve the Quran, because Allah said, I'm going to make you forget Quran, which means it is the will of Allah. Allah will cause us to forget the Quran. But let me tell you what is the secret behind this potato chips, shish kebab, falafel mix up story. Muhammad cannot recite the same verse twice in the same way. So he have to come with an excuse to say why they are not the same way. Why he's forgetting verses? They ask him to recite the verse again, he do not know how to say it. So he come to them with a stupid answer, saying that Allah said that to me, that none of our revelation we do abrogate or cause to be forgotten, but we substitute something better or similar. Look at this disaster. Look how stupid the excuse is. You are causing the Quran to be forgotten, so you will send something better or similar. Let us study this, better and similar. The one is talking here is Allah, and he is saying he will make verses better than his verses. That means that Allah is not a perfect God, and he correct himself, so he sent something better. He promised us that next time he would do it better. So the verses he don't like, you know, it's like somebody is an author, he's writing a book, and he keep ripping off papers and threw them in the trash. I don't like it. But in this case, Allah is writing the verses and sending them out, and after he sent them out, he don't like them. Which means Allah do not know the future. He do not know, because simply, if you know the future, he will not delete them and send something better. He should write the better one right away. He should know that this is not a better one. He should know that this is not good to give. He should give the accurate, the good one right away. He should not wait until he delivered the verse to the Muslims, and the Muslim recite the verse and practice the verse, and then he says to them, I'm going to send you something better. That is a very stupid excuse, and it presents a very stupid God, or let us say created God, for Allah doesn't exist. Allah will cause me to forget the Quran, and the purpose is to substitute or to make Quran better or similar. Like, let us study the word similar here. The word similar alone is a disaster. Imagine you have a house, your house is 5 bedrooms. And I say to you, I'm going to destroy your house and build for you the same house. You are saying the similar. Similar means similar. It's the same. The word similar coming from the word same. So I'm going to destroy your house to build you a similar house. Why? Like in the beginning, it says better. I accept that better. Better. Like you want to give me a better house, which it doesn't make sense because we are talking about God now. But the word similar is really a problem. Imagine you have a phone. I say to you, I'm going. Let's say you have iPhone 6. All right. I say I'm going to destroy your phone. I'm going to break it and give you iPhone 6. What for? Like what for? What the purpose of the replacement? I don't see any purpose of why we are replacing this. For what purpose? Obviously, Muhammad, he is just given excuse for he being a false prophet. He cannot recite the same thing twice. And we can keep going all over the Quran, and you will see there's tons of things proving the Quran cannot be from God, regardless if it's corrupt or not, because we already have a proof of the corruption. But what I'm proving now is the proof of the corruption of the corrupt, which means it's a corrupt book by corrupt prophet, by fabricated God, which does not exist. And we are going to prove that it's corrupt. I do not need to do so. But here we go. Even the Quran himself proved that the Quran to be corrupt and a false book. The Quran speak in chapter 85, verse number 22, that Allah, he have something is called preserved tablet, al-lawh al-mahfuz. You see it, the last verse. The Quran is inscribed in a tablet which is preserved with Allah. Hold on. So the verses which Allah, he calls us to forget, he will cause himself to forget it too in his tablet. Allah is abrogating his tablet. Remember, the Quran is written long before Muhammad was born. Written from the beginning of the time, even before. So Allah, he have a preserved Quran in his house in a tablet. Question, Muslims, why Allah is using tablet for himself? Like, I understand if he give us a tablet like what he did to Moses. Moses is a human, he will forget, so he gave him the tablet. All right. Why Allah have a preserved tablet in his heaven for his Quran? I write for numbers because I'm a human. My memory is not really super. I cannot remember. I will forget. There's too many things to remember. It's impossible. Which means I write things down for reasons. And one of the reasons of the human to write down is simply to preserve the memory, because he is not capable by his own memory to preserve what he just learned, or to preserve because we die, so we can transfer information to our new generations, to our children and children of children. So I die because we don't live forever, and I cannot teach you forever, I cannot be with you forever, so I write my knowledge in a book, so when I die, my son, your son, can read it. That is the reason of the human. But God, he make a tablet and he have it in his house. For what reason? I wish the Muslims can give us an answer. For me, it doesn't make sense. It's very naive. And you know, if you read the story actually behind those tablets, you will see how stupid it is. The preserved tablet in the Quran, I will show you just how you can get information fast, even though you do not know much about the Quran. Let us say something you just learned from me. All right, you do not know how to find reference. Okay, we take the preserved tablet and we type, oh, sorry, I'm typing Arabic. We type, let us say, with Allah. I don't want to open a Christian website or etc. You see, I want to open. Okay, this is a Muslim website, I believe. Question in Islam. Funny website. اللوح المحفوظ. All right. Let us read together. Let us make it big. All right. This divine preserving tablet, in which thing had happened, that happened, and are to happen, all moment in time, all being in space. In short, everything written on it. Everything is written there. Everything happening in this world is written in that tablet. Before it happened, before it's going to happen. It's about the past, the future, and everything. But in certain point, it was all future. So the little sample of the preserved tablet in man is memory. So Muslims agree that this is a memory. Hold on. The God of Islam, he have a problem with his memory. So he need to have it written in his tablet so he don't forget it. Some people cannot grasp the fact that everything is written in a preserved tablet. It would be inaccurate to understand written as written something with pen, letter by letter. Okay. The arrangement of the jinns are far different from writing. That memory record something does not resemble typing words and event and video and cassette. What does that mean? You just said it is a tablet, preserved tablet. Is that a flash disk? Is that a memory hard drive? اللوح المحفوظ is written something. Actually, the first thing, the first Allah things he created is the pen, just to prove that Muslims, when they try to explain something very, very funny and very stupid, they put themselves in a trouble. The first thing Allah he created, let's see, the first thing Allah created is the pen. All right. Let us see if I can find it. The problem with this website, it shows you anything in the, all right. Let us search in Arabic. I'll try to remember the hadith is exactly how it is. It was أول ما خلق الله خلق القلم. Let us see. Here we go. Read with me, please. Okay, and he said, I heard the messenger of Allah saying, verily, the first of what Allah created was the pen. And he said to it, write, so it write what will be forever. So The website we just show is saying it's not like writing in a pen, but the hadith says the opposite. The first thing Allah He created is a pen for His own. But it's a funny pen. It's like a magical pen. It write for Allah without Allah holding it. Maybe He ordered it to write, the pen write. And this is the first of Allah creation. Now if you think about it, you see how stupid and naive this story. I don't know, guys, if you notice what's wrong here. Anyone notice what's wrong? I would like always to see people focusing so they can see really what I see. There's something wrong in the story. If the first thing Allah He created, it was a pen, and He told him to write, isn't it stupid to say to him write when you did not create a book to write in? Like write where? Consider yourself you are Mr. Pen. Let us say we have a cartoon in front of us. Okay, let us make a cartoon. I like always to, a human being is created to be an image, a person, which means we understand things as images. When I say to you pen, right away in your head you have an image of a pen. Even the blind man, he have an image of a pen. When he touch it, he preserve an image in his memory about how this pen look like by touch. So when, let us say we have a cartoon in front of us, we have Allah, and Allah now He said He created a pen. We do not know how He created the pen. Let us say it happened, and He told the pen write. And let us say you are a pen who can talk. Aren't you going to say to Allah write on what? And He wrote what will be forever. Wrote where? Do you see it? Allah told the pen write, and the pen wrote what is going to be forever. That's crazy. That's seriously crazy. So if you learn really how to let us say how to dig deep in this religion, how to try to understand it, you will find that every word Muhammad He say it has a problem. And this is why actually I always challenge Muslims, says to them, give me anything about your prophet, anything, say anything to me, and I will show you an error. It doesn't matter really what it is. Because when a fool man he speak, the fool man he make mistakes, and the fool man speak foolishness. And the more he talk, the more he expose his stupidity. Actually, in this, just in this this phrase alone, I can have millions of thoughts about it. Like Allah is writing everything will happen forever. What the purpose? Seriously, what is the purpose? Secondly, Allah told the pen to write, but He did not tell him what to write. How the pen he knows the future? You know what I mean? He told him write. He said to it write. It's it. When you say it, it is not a human. It's not an it's not an angel. It is a material. He said to it write. So it wrote what will be forever. How the pen knows what will happen in the future forever? Is the pen is God too? So one statement can make us ask a lot of questions, and all those questions prove Islam to be a stupid religion. And remember, Abdul, don't say to me this is a weak hadith. It says there in the corner, Sahih. Because we know the Muslim game, right? Sahih. So shut up. I know what you will write later. You will say, this is a weak hadith. The hadith is weak when they want. It's a strong when they want. And by the way, hadith, a weak hadith or strong hadith will not make any difference. In case you do not know. You know, many people, they will they try to prove this thing for you by saying, or let us say, try to deceive you by saying, well, you know, we Muslims, we don't approve every hadith. There's many of them are weak. In fact, the weak hadith is the same as the strong hadith, which means there's no difference. Both are still considered the hadith of the Prophet, and the Muslims cannot throw them in the garbage. It's not rejected. You see, the weak hadith is not rejected, but mistakenly people think when Muslims, they say this hadith is weak, it's mean it's rejected. It's not. Actually, I will make you listen to what his name, Sheikh Hamza, about what he say about the weak hadith and the strong hadith. And you will see he is confirming what I'm saying. Let us see if the video will work. For some reason it's not working. Let me check different one. Because we hear the same story, weak hadith, you know, which is nothing but a fabrication. Weak hadith is good to go, even the weak one. And this is why actually I'm saying to you,
I mentioned yesterday what Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, and I also have immense respect for him. I was taught that Ibn Taymiyyah was a dal mudil. He was astray and he left.
Just wait, this is not the same, not the one I want. I want about the hadith. I'm looking for the video he have about let us try this one again.
Prophetic akhlaq, hadith from the Prophet. And there was some weak hadith. It was a collection by Ali Mazru'i's father, Amin al-Mazru'i. And I liked the collection, so I translated it. And to be trustworthy, all the hadiths that he put in, I put in there. And some of them were weak. But there's an attack on weak hadiths in our time. A weak hadith is anywhere from a B- to a D-. All right? A Hasan hadith is a B to an A-. And then a Sahih hadith, I'm just using a language you can understand. An A- is like a Sahih hadith is from an A to an A+ to 100%. Mutawatir is 100%. Al-Bukhari is like 98%, 99%. Muslim and Bukhari, 99%. Sahih Muslim, 97%. So a weak hadith is not thrown out.
See?
Just like a professor doesn't throw out a paper that gets a D-. It didn't flunk. It passed.
Passed.
And so when the ulama say it's a weak hadith, it passed. In other words, it's something that cannot be proven to not have been said by the Prophet. The probability that he said it is far greater than the probability that he didn't say it. So it's called a hadith da'if because the margin of error is greater than in a hasan or a sahih. So how did the ulama deal with that? The ulama dealt with it by saying that for fadail al-a'mal, those actions that are virtuous, you could use a weak hadith if it was a virtuous action and it didn't relate to a hukam.
Anyway, just don't want to make it complicated. So
each time,
obviously, we heard him saying that a weak hadith is the hadith which is past. It is good. It's getting the grade D, but we cannot throw it out because simply we cannot prove it is not from the Prophet. We cannot disapprove it. So it's a hadith which is past. So when a Muslim he come to you with this funny, because he's a stupid, you know, the Muslim he assume one thing. Like if a Muslim he knows his religion, let's just say he's an educated person about the hadith and about his religion, still he used the game of weak hadith, as you see, like Shabir Ali. Shabir Ali, anytime you give him a hadith, he say it's weak. All right? But Shabir Ali, I'm sure he knows that weak hadith is the same as a good hadith. But because he knows that you do not know, so he throw that weak in your face. Because he assumed that you are an ignorant in his religion. So he used, and like he say, it's a weak hadith. I'm going to play it to you again and listen carefully.
So the first Yasin, because Yasin, lima quriha la, Yasin, you get, and these are weak hadiths, but you know, I did something called the Content of Character, which is a small book on prophetic invocation, prophetic akhlaq, hadiths from the Prophet. And there was some weak hadiths. It was a collection by Ali Mazru'i's father, Amin al-Mazru'i. And I liked the collection, so I translated it. And to be trustworthy, all the hadiths that he put in, I put in there, and some of them were weak. But there's an attack on weak hadiths in our time. A weak hadith is anywhere from a B minus to a D minus. Right? A Hasan hadith is a B to an A minus. And then a Sahih hadith, I'm just using a language you can understand. An A minus is like a Sahih hadith is from an A to an A plus to 100%. Mutawatir is 100%. Al-Bukhari is like 98%, 99%. Muslim and Bukhari, 99%. Sahih Muslim, 97%. So a weak hadith is not thrown out. Just like a professor doesn't throw out a paper that gets a D minus. It didn't flunk, it passed. And so when the ulama say it's a weak hadith, it passed. In other words, it's something that cannot be proven to not have been said by the Prophet. The probability that he said it is far greater than the probability that he didn't say it. So it's called a hadith da'if because it
all right. So this hadith which is weak is past. So when a Muslim he says to you this lie about a weak hadith, strong hadith, tell him, you know what, you idiot, we know what a weak hadith means. Weak hadith is still, it's good. It passed. Now here I'm showing you a Sahih hadith. And he said, and we heard him saying, that a hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari is 98% very correct. Same as Sahih Muslim. But yet you will see Muslims saying to you, Sahih al-Bukhari, any hadith they don't like, they say to you it is weak. You see here, when this word Sahih here, by the way, it's not part of the book. This is additional. This is the fabrication of the Abdul. Here, this is not from the book. The book of Sahih al-Bukhari, you know, the books, by the way, the books of Sahih are 6 books. There are 6 books. Like some of you maybe think, because you don't have enough education about this issue, that the hadith are only, the Sahih hadith are Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. The fact this is not true. All right. Let me show you. Let us go here. Let me go back. No. I'm going to search for you. What is the Yahoo thing? All right. Look like I close it. Anyway, if you go and do some search, always when people they talk to you about anything, including me, don't take what I say into granted, because people they have their own agenda, and everyone he say things for you to serve his agenda. Like now, me myself, I have my agenda. My agenda is to prove to you Islam is false. All right. So somehow I am driven by my agenda to show you that Islam is a stupid religion. The Muslim is driven by his agenda to do the opposite. He want to show you Islam is to be a good religion. So you as a person who is listening, are you going to let me, let us say, brainwash you, or the Muslim brainwash you, or you want to make a decision which is wise and based on the true information? How you can know that I am a truthful with you? As you see, for me as a person, I don't make speeches. I show you all my reference from Islamic books. I don't show things from my own. I don't make statement from my own. Like when I wanted to prove to you, like I mentioned to you, that the weak hadith is not a bad hadith, but still you might be suspecting that, is that really accurate? So I played for you Sheikh Hamza, which is very trusted by the Muslims. And where Sheikh Hamza, he learned that from Islamic books. Weak hadith is a good hadith. Now here, actually in this page, I want to show you something very funny about Muhammad logic. When the Muslims they debate us about our book, they say to you that you Christians, your Bible written 60 years after Jesus. By the way, the Quran, the Muslims, the earliest Quran Muslims have, some they say it is 300 years after Muhammad. You don't have the copy of Uthman or the copy of Ibn Mas'ud, which is different because Uthman supposedly he burned most of them. No Muslim have the original Quran. No Muslim. All right. And then they say to you that the Bible is rejected by us because it's written 60 years after Jesus. 60 years after Jesus. When the Quran at least is 300 to 400 years written after Muhammad. However, I'm going to show you the logic of the God of the Abdul. Remember, we are reading here verse number 64 in chapter number 3. So I want you to remember this verse. All right, just to show you the logic of the one who wrote the Quran, how stupid it is. The God of the Quran now is debating with us, specifically Christians and Jews. All right, ye people of the book, why dispute ye about Abraham when the law of the gospel and the gospel, which the law means the Torah, the gospel, you know what the gospel means, were not revealed till after him? Have you no understanding? I like it at the end when he say, have you no understanding, which means, are you stupid? Like, hello, are you stupid? Now, if we accept this logic, Allah is trying to logic with you, Christians and Jews. And his logic is, if your books came after Abraham, you have no right to dispute about Abraham. When the book of Allah came. If the book of Allah came after Allah and after the gospel, you know, by thousands of years, because he came after the gospel of 600 years. and he came after the law, which is the law of Moses and the book and the Bible, you know. So we are talking about thousands of years, but yet his argument is the one who came after Abraham, he have no right to dispute. Have you not understand? Have you no understanding? Are you a fool? Well, I want to say to Allah, or the one who wrote this verse, are you a fool? Seriously. How you say to them, you can't dispute about Abraham because you came after Abraham, when you came after all of them? You came after Abraham, you came after Moses, you came after Isa, according to the Quran, you came after everybody. It is madness. Welcome to the stupid religion of Islam. Well, I think this is what I wanted today to share with you in this time together, and I hope you guys would like it. Please leave your comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook page. You can go to investigateislam.com, and you can subscribe to our Facebook page so you can update it about what we do and our activities. However, feel free to get my book, The Deception of Allah, or the Quran and Science in Depth from Amazon.com, which is refuting the Muslims' claim about Quran and science. As you know, my books is full of reference. I don't make speeches, so I'm sure you will enjoy it. Thank you very much for being with us. God bless you. Christ is Lord, and Islam is false. I mean to that. See you. Bye-bye.